Welcome back, Digital Ramblers. How are you? Episode 178, and we have a smasher for you today. This one's going to illuminate the space gamble. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm really well, JJ. I'm excited to bring on a returning guest. Last week was a new guest. This one is one from the archives that we're bringing back with some new conversations. Tech with design-driven conversations coming up with our guest, Sarah Dresher from LIT, Luxury Integrated Technologies.
Hi, guys. Great to be back. Thanks for
Sarah,
having me.
welcome back. So excited to have you back on the show. Yes.
Very excited to be here, guys. It's been a long journey throughout my career, and I'm excited to share where we've gone.
Well, Sarah, tell us about your journey.
Yeah, happy to. I mean, you guys know, and I'll just remind, young electrical engineer out of school, out of New Jersey, right? All the way up from the Northeast, going to Lutron, where I met JJ in another lifetime ago, it feels. Found a battery storage company that incorporated intelligence to give people the power of smart homes and control of that, and really found that passion. And after a few years and kind of seeing where the industry was heading, I decided to take on the life of a manufacturer's rep agency. And I was the Lutron rep in the Northeast, in North Carolina, rather, sorry. That's where my mom ended up moving, and that's where I wanted to settle down and have a life and start a family. So being close to mom was super important. After about a year of working there, I kind of found that some things were changing, and I wanted to take something new and make it great for this industry, really bridging that gap between our architects, homeowners, and designers and what they really intend, and helping integrators really deliver that with the best technology products. So with that gap not being met, I decided to build Luxury Integrated Technologies. And now we're almost 4 years into the business today. We have over 30 different brands that we are partnered with throughout the Southeast, including all the way out to JJ's area in Texas, covering Tola Market, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas. So I'm really excited. We have now several people on board. It's not just Sarah putting the miles on her little Honda HRV anymore. It's pretty crazy how many miles are on that thing. I'm driving from Memphis to North Carolina, but yeah, starting this agency is where we are at, and we're excited to be on that mission.
Well, Luxury Integrated Technologies has made a huge impact, and even in the UK, we see your social media presence. I see the energy, the vibrancy in the company. And for me, it's interesting to view it that with the word luxury, home technology is synonymous with luxury, but over the years, we've seen almost DIY becoming the kind of leader of conversations in smart home and home technology. So it's good to see luxury still retaining, a presence. And then I see the word integration. So luxury technology, the integration part, what's behind that? Are all your brands, is there an alignment between them? Is there integration? What's behind the brand there?
I truly believe and feel that everybody deserves a taste of luxury. Everybody deserves to have that opportunity. And technology today has been driven to be more affordable. And of course, we love our brass and antique gold plated stuff. And of course, that comes with more of a premium. And that is a lot of what Luxury Integrated Technologies has in their fixtures and in their different tech. But technology being more affordable and adoptable, luxury can come with a lower price tag these days. So being that technology does enhance our homeowners' lifestyles, enhances their lives, really brings these experiences into the fold of every day and makes their lives not only easier, but healthier and better choices, giving them more time to spend with their families, less worrying about if the shades are all aligned and all that kind of stuff in the house. So I do feel that is a big piece of it. And integrated in a way, our big mission, especially on the design side with some of the higher end projects that we certainly work on, where we are working with designers, it's a lot about integrating this technology seamlessly into the hardscapes of the homes. Best technology is one that we don't really have to see. We're going to engage with it in an intuitive way. The homeowners don't have to wonder how to operate a system. It's that integration piece is more about how intuitive these systems can all come together to make that end user experience really flawless for them.
Sarah, integration is something that we've been doing with our businesses for the past 15-20 years, and we have a lot of options for integrators to go to, and there's been a lot of gaps that are available in the market. What did you see that were gaps in the market that allowed lit to fill them?
It was a good question when I was reviewing these. What the things that people have approached me for a lot of the time, it comes from different angles, whether it is a homeowner that's interested in a particular technology. And I did want to just take a little bit of a step back and understanding what a manufacturer's rep is. And Chris, you have some different experiences, I think, over there with reps versus distributors versus what does that really mean? And, there's different early in my career, I had the luxury of being with, a company that trained me on how to call on the specification community, the designers and architects. And a lot of what technology manufacturers look for in a rep agency is not only somebody that can call on the integrators and show them each contractor the latest speaker that's come out, but also the skill set of being able to add value to a designer and architect and builder and being able to show them how your technology can enhance their projects. That gap, I think, of not being aware of what technology is out there and how to market and how to communicate those to those different parties in the construction cycle is really where Lit was built to fill. It's not just our technologies, of course, it's a lot about the education side of this and the lack of that education available. People a lot of the times will go to maybe a manufacturer driven type of training or a little bit more general from the industry, but really how to implement these things, not just on a CEU or a continued education class kind of thing that gives a little bit more of a generality, but doing things like a 30-minute what's the latest in technology, 30 design ideas in 30 minutes. Doing these types of presentations is what Lit is really specialized in to show people, did you know that your laundry could shoot up a jet? That's something Jetsons, which I heard there's going to be one of those Jetsons movies coming out, but we're living in that time where a lot of things are possible and the gap of the knowledge and awareness of all the things that are capable. If I was building a house, I think it would be a disservice to not know what I can possibly want, what there could possibly be.
So there's definitely this blend of design meeting technology, and you have experience of working with some of the most well-known brands, directly working with them. And that must have been a great
Hmm.
experience for you. And to then you're transferring that now into your own business. And that skills you learned conversing with architects, designers, the construction industry, I think you're underestimating how helpful you're actually going to be to integrators. You're the bridge. I could imagine you being part of conversations in pre-sales, design meetings, even after contributing when projects are finished, that there's some finesse and luxury touches needed. Do you see yourself as the bridge between integrator and the design community?
That's a great word for it. Bridge. Yep. We're definitely the bridge for that gap. I see a lot of integrators lean on the ladies of Lit to help pull them in to help have those design conversations. Sometimes the contractor going in and having these approaches can have a little bit of a cars salesman type of vibe. You're just, what are you trying to sell me today? But having a rep, and understanding our relationships to our contractors as well to help them execute jobs and service the projects that they have. They've worked with the brands we have. We understand their level of skill set and can best find the right partners for those specifiers and really help the job come to fruition. And then, of course, down the line when it needs to be serviced, we're also going to be there when we get the call.
There are so many different devices that are coming online technology wise that we can implement into a client's home that can be impactful and beneficial to their daily lives. And there are so many different types of devices and trends that are coming out. Do you see something on the horizon that is maybe early for adoption or something that's really going to be gravitated towards in the near future?
The most asked about thing. I mean, it's kind of in our name too, is lit. The trend right now is a lot of technology is being incorporated into different fixtures and tape lighting and decoratives, all different styles of lighting. We're seeing technology really enhancing in LEDs. So that's definitely one of those things that comes up quite often. And there's obviously so many different forms, and that could be a whole nother episode with you guys. I am most excited about building the foundation of a smart home, which I believe to be a stable quality power system as well as a stable, robust network. And having those two things implemented early is really part of that paradigm shift that we're having with our architects to understand and that specification community to really understand that that's going to make or break any technology or anything else that we incorporate later on that requires power or internet, which most of our technology does. Um, I'm excited about battery systems that are coming out that make these homes a lot more resilient, a lot more green and forward, and give the clients, the ability to control their power at any time they want, having the best quality power as well as protection during lightning storm.
You seeing that push coming from? Is that like from the market? Are you seeing consumers asking for that? Or is this where we're using this is where we're educating clients and saying, hey, this is something that you should consider. This is available.
Well, it's interesting because the Southeast is certainly not known for very expensive power. I mean, my power bill is very affordable now that I am a homeowner. Yay. And oh my gosh, everything's wrong all the time and there's so many problems and I'm broke again. So, I mean, it's great, but it's not great too. Um, but when I'm looking at getting a generator or something for my house, it really was always coming down to that price point, right? Like, am I going to drop 60K on a generator? But now that we see this technology come into a more digestible and comparative alternative to a generator, that conversation's getting a lot easier to have. When we had our last conversation, we were talking about $100,000 system, definitely a little bit more tippy top of the pyramid, a little more isolated, but also the capabilities at that time were more focused on backing up those bigger technology centralized lighting systems and that kind of thing. It was more geared towards that. The capabilities of what we have today at a more affordable generator replacement intelligent system is certainly able to adapt and give clients still that value and really grow with those clients. That's what's really exciting about it is it's more open to conversation. People don't necessarily ask about it all the time, but what I will say about our lovely southeast area is we are one of the highest rated for lightning strikes here. We have beautiful islands off the coast, Kiwa Island, Charleston area. I mean, these areas just have really dirty power, sea level. They're getting, Florida is known for Florida flicker flash. We just constantly experience problems with our power. And I think as our technology, as people get their new $20,000 Wolf range ovens and those sensitive electronic pieces in it just start failing and having some little challenge because the surge happened or an arc spiked, as more people start to see it and experience it, more awareness will come. I am starting to see more awareness coming from the contractors and specifiers that believe and recognize that that is a true challenge. Sorry, that was a little long-winded.
No, not at all. I mean, we see that here in Texas as well. I guess we have the Texas two tap, where it's like the lights come on
Yeah, a
and
little
off,
shop.
and
Yep, I remember living in
yeah,
Dallas. Oh yeah.
and the devices really get worn down here from getting zapped like that on and off.
Yeah, and you must experience that with your projects locally too. Having something happen where the network goes down because of it, because they lost power connection. I mean, I had a guy that every time his dishwasher would go on, his Lutron lights would flicker. It must be the dimmer. Must be the dimmer's fault. Well, turns out his electrical system was the same circuit was on the dishwasher for that circuit for that load. So of course it was gonna flicker. But we fix that with the electrician. So there's ways to identify these things. I think more people are going to see it, and it's going to be really about building a strong smart home. I like to even say, let's rephrase that, an intelligent home.
I like it. I love the vocabulary. You used the word foundational, and I like how there's a practical edge to lit as well. And often that practical tech is it's often the big bulky items that might be in a plant room. They might be in a kind of commercial side of the house, things that might be on the outside that are visible. And you even mentioned like a 20,000 pound range cooker. That is a statement piece for people. But I always
Yeah.
find the impactful things are hidden technology. When you have friends over and they can't quite work out where the music's coming from, they can't figure out, is that a mirror or is that their television as well? Hidden technology, things that disappear into the design. There's a balance of getting that right, but what are some of the brands that you have in your lineup where it's discrete luxury technology? What have you got in your armory?
Across the categories, audio, video, electrical, lighting. I think we have something that touches upon a little bit of that across all those things. One I definitely want to point out was, and I'll give them the shout for being the first brand that really believed in Sarah and Lit and gave us our first contract. Task Lighting. Task Lighting is about highlighting beauty with their linear lighting, and then they also hide power. So they're about discrete angled power strips. And these are applications, we have so much of them. So it's all about hiding and concealing where your power comes from to beautify your kitchen spaces and workspaces. We see a lot of those. I would say another one just to highlight is flush mounts through Dylan Innovations. They completely, again, disappear that receptacle. It might be a silly thing, but one of my favorite things about Lutron, favorite products ever, screwless faceplate. Like genius. Like we don't want to see the screws. And just being able to now I'm a little snobby with my screws because that's where I was born and bred here. So I like to make sure all of that stuff is concealed. Having your subwoofer come out of the baseboard, and really concealing that well. That's invisible speakers we see a lot of now where they're hidden in the drywall. All these different types of technology are really getting pretty and helping enhance those spaces. One of the biggest thing I hear as feedback from our designers is they hate TVs. The inevitable black box. They hate it. But we just partnered with a company called Skyworth that makes these amazing art TVs, very much like a frame or a gallery, but they do have amazing picture quality and don't require a back box, which allows us to put them on easels in a lot of our more luxurious suites where we want to hide them in a different way. If they're an art frame, they do look like they disappear with art. So that it looks more like a picture on the wall, and we can plan for that a little bit better on the design side. Things like that.
We love those different types of design elements of things just going away, purpose-built technology like that Skyworth display that people are now buying and using as artwork, and then maybe a television. I love that type of flexibility and going into homes that are using technology in unique ways. Do you have any projects that have just been like, wow, like blow you away? Like, wow, this is really incredible. Things that, really came together. And are there any teams that you're working together on projects like those?
Absolutely. All of my lit ladies are building. I'm very proud of all of them. They're quick to build relationships and show that value. All of them have some type of project like that. I'll say one of the jobs that I started 2 years ago, I can't really reveal too much about it. A lot of it is under NDA, but what I will say is after working with 3 different cabinet people that are working in this project, after working across a developer overseas, actually Chris, the builder and architect, is by you in England. The job integrators are in Georgia and North Carolina. I mean, we are managing all of those projects and really, again, being that bridge, but I'll also say we're the glue. And we're really holding everybody on top of everything that needs to happen to make sure everything's delivered in a timely fashion, which has really led to right now, we're at the point of procurement and installation. We'll see how the rest of this goes, but it's been moving along quite smoothly and only growing into a very large 48,000 square foot building project. Very nice. Very excited.
That's one that
So I'll share
we should,
pictures once I'm able to for you
yeah,
guys.
yeah, because that's the kind of content that people love to follow these projects on social media. There's so many accounts now for these luxury developments that I can sit and watch them and favor that over watching a Netflix series or something on kind of mainstream media. I'll watch like just the updates on a home project, maybe in the UK or overseas. I love to spot the tech in the background. It's a bit nerdy of me, but going into the business and the lineup of brands that you have, and people can go to your website and discover those brands. But what's the decision making behind whether a brand fits? Is there a culture that you're trying to vibe with in your business? Are you looking at your current brands and thinking, does that fit in? Because there's such a large shopping basket available to you of brands, hundreds and hundreds of brands. When you go to the Expo, ISE in Europe, there's hundreds of brands. How do you make the decision to fit it into your lineup?
We are definitely selective and strategic about the brands we choose to represent. As a manufacturer, a representative, we really, all we have is 30-day contracts a lot of the time. So brands come and go, but lit ladies are here for our customers. Yes, we hope that if we're doing a good job and, hitting our numbers from a sales perspective, we are still a contracted sales force. But when we are selecting the brands that we choose to bring on board, they have to bring something innovative to the space is one of my main qualifiers. Take, for instance, a company like Cluse Design. Cluse Design is not just another linear line. We have several linear lines available to us, but they brought the innovation of the extrusion, the channel for linear to the market. They are continually innovating and bringing new products to market. They are meeting timelines. They are delivering quality products. There's a lot of things we look for in the level of service that they can deliver. Are you quick to respond to our emails when we call and ask you questions? If something did go wrong in a project, how is that handled? I mean, there's a lot of things sometimes that even though it might be a nice shiny name, that's great. But we also want to make sure that there's certain things that our customers have come to expect of LIT, and the contractors that have chosen to work with us expect that the brands that we bring them are going to deliver value for their clients and also meet their expectations from quality and service.
All those integrators that you work with, and as well as the different manufacturers that you're representing, the manufacturers that you're representing, they're definitely luxury products or for the luxury market. What advice are you giving to integrators that are starting to expand into some of these luxury products, that are integrating them into clients' homes? I mean, it's a pretty big step in order to take on, those types of projects and those jobs.
You definitely have to be prepared for a different type of clientele. I mean, a Mark Cuban of the world definitely has a different expectation of service than maybe you or me in a timeline, right? There's just certain expectations there. So one, definitely prepare yourself and make sure your company is prepared to deliver that level of service. But the best advice I can give is call your lit ladies. Make sure you're up to date on the latest trends that we're seeing, how we can help you, our latest CEUs getting out there. Talk to us. We're always available by phone, email, Monday through Friday.
I love this little phrase that you've dropped in, the lit ladies. I just think I can instantly just imagine there's a culture, there's an energy in your team. And like I say, that comes across in your social media and your messaging. It's powerful. It's making an impact in its early years. And I would see you as a leader. I did see you did some speaking at CEDIA Expo. You were up on one of the panels. That's great that you're being asked to be part of that and putting yourself forward to be part of that. And I hope that your voices become much louder than some of the people that have had the stage in the past. These tech nerds that have failed the industry. I'm going to be pretty strong here. Let new
Yeah.
people in, let new voices have the pedestal, take the mic. Some of these dinosaurs need to step down, be put out to pasture, bring in new, refreshing views, opinions, dynamic, energy people, bring them in. You're one of them. How's that been in the years that you've been in the industry? How have you been accepted? Do you feel you've got to fight to get up onto that stage, or is there a new wave taking you with it?
And, so it's interesting. The particular one that I was on stage for this year, and this was my first time on the smart stage at CEDIA, and it was for the Women of CE Pro, because just this past year I was recognized as one of the 40 for 40 women to watch. I also had the honor of being asked to be a part of the advisory board with the mission of LIT, and as you say, the LIT ladies too. I love that. It's been wonderful. But yes, we do have a group of professional, smart women that are excited about this industry. The passion is definitely getting through to them. A lot of them come from a lighting background or some type of kind of similar industry. But once they open up and see this smart world that we live in, it's really easy for them to adopt that. I have found a little bit similar things like you have, Chris, to there's a lot of people where I'll phrase it as the industry has passed them by. There's a reason that LIT was started and I didn't go work for another manufacturer's rep agency. I do feel like there's something new that we're creating here. It's something special. I think that the team all feels that way, and I hope that our customers are seeing that as well as we continue to grow and bring on the right brands as well as new LIT ladies. And that doesn't mean we just don't like men. We love men. Most of the people we work with are men. All of our contractors are open to that as long as they're qualified. But I certainly think that bringing, as a minority business owner, bringing more women into this male dominated field is one of the things I'm certainly passionate about. I think that's why they wanted me on the advisory board as well for this. I do think that more women can help bridge this luxury elevation gap that we are seeing, and can help make sure not only our brands are recognized, but just our entire industry as a whole can be elevated with certain expectations of our technology deliverables. Meaning you show up, you can produce a design and really communicate these things. It doesn't give the sleazy, hey, I just hang TVs kind of deal. Not that that's insulting at all. I just mean that as I'm not just coming to hang a TV and leave. I'm here to service you as your integrator.
A couple of weeks ago, and you were telling me about LIT-a-Palooza. It's an event that y'all are wanting to put on, I believe. And tell me, where did this idea of LIT-Palooza come about? What is it about? What do you hope it brings to the industry?
So it's kind of evolved over the years. As a new manufacturer's rep agent, some people knew Sarah. I've been lucky enough to make a name for myself in the industry and work hard at that. But a lot of people did not know me. So I started my business and went around to the 8 states that I had at the time, Florida to Kentucky, and in every market did a little show. And at first it was just called the LIT Show. And it was basically like a CEDIA Tech Summit, Chris, and JJ, for those of you who have seen those. And it's like tabletop, and it's all the brands, here they are, come see. As we've kind of evolved and become more of an educator in these spaces, we've had the LIT Studio most recently. And LIT Studio is a collection of trainings that I've done to help integrators evolve into the lighting category and understand how to design their fixtures and take off downlights, art lights properly, hallway, every type of category, landscape. That's more of our LIT Studio. And LIT-a-Palooza is going to be more incorporative of all of the other categories that we have for technology. Things like our Lenbrook, where we have Blue Sound and Meridian, some of our speaker lines, Dolly, that kind of thing, as well as our video solutions like Skyworth and digital production, where maybe LIT Studio doesn't have a good training for you to train you on art TVs. Here's the sheet, go see it, and wow, there it is, right? Versus that kind of thing. So two different types of events. LIT-a-Palooza is definitely going to be more geared towards exposing not just our integrator partners to help them come on board with our brands, but also open to architects, to designers, to make sure that everybody else, and even homeowners, because we do get people that reach out to that. So we have our list for that, to reach out to see, hey, here's the latest in technology for your homes. And this is going to be another way for us to help bridge that gap and expose what's out there to the market.
It sounds like a great way to communicate your message. You've got a clear message of what you're trying to provide to your customers. It's a great way to make it an approachable, make that bridge easier to cross. That we keep mentioning the bridge. Next year, have you got plans for, are you going to be at the CEDIA Expo as an exhibitor? Will you be launching any new websites? Is there a Sarah GPT AI coming out? What's happening next year?
Oh my God, that would be crazy, I think. I don't know if anyone wants that. Next year, certainly, I think our first big show is going to be LIT-a-Palooza out in Austin, Texas this year. So the Lit ladies will definitely be present there. I I haven't had final confirmation from all of our vendors, but I should see at least 10, I think, of ours will be in attendance. So whatever classes and that kind of thing there. Usually I get asked to speak about a month prior to these things too. So we'll find out a little later on down the line if there's any classes to be participating in. Definitely will be at CEDIA. We will let you know and keep everybody posted on our website on the LIT-a-Palooza and Lit Studio dates. We're going to be doing a lot of them virtually to incorporate a lot of area that we cover. But we would obviously, LIT-a-Palooza would be more of an in-person event, and that'll probably take place in Fort Myers or in Charlotte. And we will definitely stand by on those dates.
Keep our ears out for when that LIT-a-Palooza is announced, because it's going to be a great event, especially for those integrators that are in that Florida area or North Carolina area, to go and check that out and get an education on what you guys are representing. Now, Sarah, something that we came up with and really peeled back at this year's CEDIA is some pillars in our industry that we find foundational for what we are doing as integrators and what you're doing as a manufacturer's rep. And we've been asking people, like, what is setting the scene in your house? Or, what are you using as an integrator to set the scene for your clients' homes? And when we're talking about scene, scene is actually an acronym for our listeners that are joining us for the first time. And scene, and I'll just give it real quick. Scene is an acronym for security, communication, environment, network, and entertainment. And usually those 5 things are 5 pillars that a intelligent home should have to make it very intelligent. So, casting that question onto you, what are the 5 manufacturers that you're really leaning on, that you're finding value for either yourself or for the for the clients that your integrators are providing? What's a good security solution that you're using?
Security. I'll take one direct approach and I'll give you a little bit of a salesy spin. Dylan Innovations offers a little bit of our security contractor solutions, some like water bugs and the contacts and things like that. So that would be more literally answering your question for sure. I do like that they have black little contacts so we don't have to see contractors scribbling with a black Sharpie on them because they're always in a dark brown or something that doesn't match. So a little nicer design element there too on the security side. But I was originally thinking, when you asked me about security and I mentioned this, I was thinking Brightbolt, honestly, for your resiliency and energy security. Because without power, I feel like people are the most fearful and insecure. Brightbolt would have to be mine for that, offering them that resiliency.
I love that answer of backup energy, and I know Gamble loves it even more.
Yeah, that floats my boat. I know that we're going into a period globally where energy independence is going to be an asset. If you are energy independent, you could be in an elite level of homeowners if you make preparations for that now, along with some other adjustments that you need to be making as a homeowner. If you can add independence for communication, energy, money, and safety, I think you'd be one step ahead. The next one is C, communication. You wrote down in the notes a brand that I know, It's one of the ones. It's the only one I
Uh,
know out of the
it's
five,
your
and
neck
it's
of the woods.
a British brand made in the UK.
Love that brand. Yep, Faraday. Love Faraday. One of my favorite brands. Love working with the team. Great people, funny people, very responsive people, and an amazing product. Really has revolutionized the controls companies and implementation of these systems in the field for us. We're used to sizes of hockey pucks for this type of motion sensor technology, and this really innovates that space. Love those guys. I'm glad that you recognize them. I'm saying that for communication because the motion sensors are going to give the
Perfect.
systems that info that we need.
That's it. You've understood how we're communicating these pillars. It's the communication that it could be happening in the background. It's not necessarily using apps and voice. It's how one system is communicating with another without any intervention from the homeowner. That's a true intelligent home.
That's
Love that
absolutely
line.
right. And in that different way of communicating, there's ways that we can control our environment. And what would be your choice for your environmental pillar?
Environment pillar will have to be Lumini and Cerno. I have to put two. I put Cerno in here for you guys, but Cerno Group is a manufacturer out of California. Us made, which is amazing. They have a woodworking shop and glass blowing shop all in one, but they make the most innovative art lights, truly enhance the environment by adding beauty to the space from a lighting side. Lumini, I would say, does the exact same thing. What I love about Lumini is their versatility. They actually will offer design guides. Lumini has a brand also out of your neck of the woods called Precision Lighting is out of the UK. And then Lumini is headquartered out of Chicago. But what their design guides offer is if somebody's looking to add toe kick lighting to a space, what they'll do is they'll show, hey, if you mount it like this, the light will look like this. If you fire it like this, it'll look like this. And actually give a really good visual representation of the expectation that light will perform with. So that's one of the things that I like that they do really well in enhancing the environment.
Gosh, I needed you with me on site today. I was having a conversation with this, this, this lighting in a kitchen, and I was trying to describe using Google Images, and yeah, I should have just had
I'll make sure to
one of
send
your
that to you so you have
samples.
those guides.
Yeah. So we've got two left. The next one is network, and again, you've listed a brand that I've not heard of. So please let us know your network pillar.
Yeah, CIS Networks, really great company. What I liked about them was that they were really driven for our integrator channel, helping integrators understand how to incorporate networks into their business. This was more of a business decision, but more literally covered the network category. We recently just brought them on board, so we are still exploring where they fit in our market. But I've seen price points and understanding how they show integrators that IT side of the business, parting something with an RMR and managing that service is a really good benefit for our integrators to check out.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear you coming from a different angle as well. Again, you're identifying the gaps rather than fitting the same mold as all the other, the other people in the space. You're looking for the gaps. I think that's a great way to go ahead with business and looking after your customers.
My mom used to say they broke the mold when they made me.
Yeah, my mom said I'm the only hell she ever raised. So there's that.
Last one. Let's do it.
Last one. All right. So the last pillar, this is really where I kind of came into the industry, was in the entertainment, the audio and video. And I think a lot of us, cut our teeth, on installing televisions and speakers throughout the house. And there's just a tremendous amount of, choices out there, good quality choices at that. So, the market is kind of stiff. What is your go-tos? What do you like? What do you see on the horizon of like, man, yeah, this really fits their pillars right?
I mean, I know I've said it a couple times already, but I was so impressed with that Canvas 86-inch from Skyworth, that art TV. I thought was very innovative. I loved the way that they are able to actually turn off the different pixels and the LEDs that they have to truly get you a better black experience, which is one of the hardest things that they have to do with TVs. Digital projection is another one that we represent here in the Southeast. And what I find about them is they're doing a lot more bigger projects, exterior projection and big video walls on that side. And so we're seeing that as entertainment, bigger, better picture, all the cool stuff, right? And can it also have a frame the same Ferrari red, right? All that cool stuff.
Well, we will definitely mention all these brands in our description and in our notes, and we'll try and gather some links, and we'll definitely speak with you after so that we can get the signposts correct for these companies. So that's your team.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Your scene. We've got a couple more questions, which are just going to be quick fire because as we move into the home straight here, this one's a bit more fun. You can add a bit more of your personality to it. But we've got four questions to hit you with.
Favorite luxury product that makes you say, now that's integrated living?
Laundry jet.
Okay, I'm definitely hitting that.
Just hit the Google on that one. They are all over the TikTok. This is a pipe through your house. You wave your hand in front of a little port, sucks your laundry, boom, away to the laundry room. Chris, you're shaking your head.
I have a teenage son. My son Jack, he needs one of those in his bedroom.
Are you kidding? Have you seen my daughter? Do you have daughters? Gamble, your daughter's growing up.
Much worse.
So, I mean, my daughter's room.
Hey,
She'd just be sitting in the bed, just like
7 days a week, tennis. He wears it once. Yeah.
I think my daughters, they just look at it and it's on the ground. I mean, they'd look at it and like in the chute.
We pull out at least luxury, 3 different outfits to see what we want to wear.
Hey, I want a chute that shoots it back on a hanger. How about that? Like,
well, there is a return unit, but it does not fold them yet. Coming soon.
Yeah. Okay.
Put me in line for that. Actually, I enjoy folding. I don't enjoy hanging. I enjoy folding. I'm a master folder. Ask my wife.
What for you would be your go-to way of interacting with tech in your home? Are you a fan of a physical keypad? Are you reaching for your phone and an app, or will you prefer to use voice?
You know, I engage in all of those ways with my home. Voice, keypad, iPad, iPhone, app-based. What I have found the easiest and what I wish I had was actually a control system, because as a rep's house, I have a hodgepodge of Sonos, Blue Sound, this. I mean, my guide, Lutron, can integrate these things. And I mean, it's fun, for sure. But personally, I love the ability to use my Alexa, use my Google, and talk to, she's probably going to turn on now just to make sure. And it just keeps everything hands-free is one of those easier experiences I find, rather than having to find the app or go to the keypad location physically.
That's 2 guests back to back, Gamble. Alexa for their voice. Pretty interesting. You know, one thing homeowners, whenever they're building a house or thinking about adding technology to their house, they get a little anxiety. It's kind of like going into your favorite technology store and looking for a router, and it's just like 3 aisles of routers, and you're like, oh my gosh. What is one thing that you tell homeowners that they should understand about tech, whenever they're designing a project for their house?
Homes are very personal. Technology is even more private and personal, especially when we're getting everybody's passwords and logging into things. Like you guys, we're getting so intimate with these customers. I would think the best way that I've engaged with people to help them decipher is right off of our website. We are one of the only reps in the nation that works with the Home Technology Association, the HTA. And what that means is they've created this tool that we also utilize that helps homeowners dissect what categories are important to them and what areas of the house they want to mark. So kind of gives them an exercise and kind of homework to go through and think about, and also draws awareness to a lot of those categories. And that's one of the best ways I have found to really make sure that they are seeing up front their options. and getting the best awareness at the earliest stage possible. So understanding their priorities.
This next question, most people say that, their dream collaboration would be with the Digital Ramble, Digital Delight, Chris Gamble, but you can choose someone else. Who would be your dream collaboration partner? Is there a designer that you'd like to vibe with, an architect you'd like to work in one of their developments, or is there a brand? And it might not even be technology. You mentioned Ferrari earlier. Like, is there a brand that you resonate with that
Yeah.
you'd love to work with?
This is actually, I didn't see this one, so I had to think about it for a second. When we picked up Kentucky, when we were asked to pick up Kentucky, it was something very much outside of the traditional contract lines for our area. But one of the brands, I am a very big fan of horses. Grew up at one time going to summer camp because I was very fortunate, I'll say, not spoiled, in my life to have that one experience at camp. But love horses, not all the time riding them. Could never afford one. And bourbon. And my after I turned 21, I absolutely love bourbon. So taking on Kentucky was certainly a no-brainer. Now, I have gone to the Woodford Distillery, and what I'll say is that is certainly one of the brands that I would really love to work with. They have some beautiful big barrels, obviously, where they're making the distillery, and then they make a wall out of those barrels that I would love to light that wall. That's what I want to do.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Yeah. Hashtag Woodford Reserve.
Of lit.
There we go.
For integrators, listen, what's one action that they can take this week to elevate their brand? Like in the luxury market, like they're driving around in their truck, they're listening to the show, and they're like, man, how can I get there? Like, what can I do to elevate myself?
I'm going to have to say, call the lit ladies. Ask them what's new, what's going on, and how they can help on your next project.
That's what's very important for our industry to understand, is that we have manufacturer reps that are standing by ready to help you design projects that put the wow to the investment, that actually gives you the return on the investment. That's the biggest thing for our industry, is making sure that we're designing systems that actually are of value. And so, yeah.
I would agree there. And one of the things that I think differentiates us from other rep agencies is we're not that agency that's emailing you that you want to unsubscribe all the time because you get, oh my gosh, this guy won't stop emailing me this stuff. Like, we don't really do that. We only will blast out something that's new once in a while when things are new, or if pricing changes to our integrators. So a lot of the times what ends up happening is because we don't hound people, sometimes we're just honestly forgotten. It just happens. So making sure and asking to call your lit ladies, and ask them what's new. Yes, they're going to be calling you too, but we might have missed each other. So give us a shout. We're not going to hound you for orders.
Okay, we've only got a couple of things left, but I think this is an important one, and it'll probably generate a clip for social media. If you're a young lady or a woman coming from another industry and you're wanting to get into this industry, how would they start? What's the first steps they should be making to become part of the home technology, the residential technology space?
I think it's an interesting path because although I pursued the college path and an electrical engineering degree, and that I don't necessarily believe that to be a requirement for our space. I think that there have been a lot of developments lately across some specifier channels that I work with, where they have competitions for electricians coming out of high school on who can terminate their line, what stuff the fastest, and like starting to build more of these skill sets. If somebody, a young lady, I mean, I was a lot more hands-on in building robots and breadboards and stuff, and that was just my personality. I'm definitely a bit of a unicorn that I can also communicate and also have that interest in building breadboards. But there's a lot more of me and people like me out there. And I encourage them to reach out to a couple of contractors, reach out to some manufacturers if there's a certain category, like a video or an audio that they're passionate about, and start there. A lot of those manufacturers will have good programs if they're interested in sales. I went through the Lutron program and came out the other side as a definitely more professional from engineering school right to there. That was a really good jump. And I think more companies are coming out with that, Saban and Crestron and these other control companies too. So it's a great place to start, or reach out to the Lit ladies, because there's a couple avenues at distribution and contractors, maybe locally in the area. Always happy to help fellow women and anybody, but fellow women, especially in our industry.
How can people get in contact with you or the Lit ladies?
Yeah, sure. You can visit our website at www.lit-southeast, the full word south, full word east.com. You can reach me at Sarah, Sarah, at lit-southeast.com is my email, or my phone number would be
And any social media handles? Where could they find you?
I think the Instagram one is Lit Southeast. I think our Facebook one is Lit Southeast. I think I did a good job of setting this up,
Good.
which I did all of that, QuickBooks, marketing, our website, all by myself in 2022. So I'm very proud of it. But I do think it is all that. We are also on LinkedIn as well.
Well, Sarah, we have had a great time with you. We're hugely appreciative of your time and respectful of your time. And we love that you've shared your journey from the early days all the way through to what you've got planned for next year. It's exciting times ahead, and I know our audience are going to enjoy listening to this. So thank you so much for your time, Sarah. Again, you're so kind to us.
Thank you. It was great to see you both. And I'll be ready to come back in a few years and give you an even bigger update. Can't wait.
Absolutely, Sarah. Thank you so much for coming back on the show. Sarah Dresher there at LIT, Luxury Integrated Technologies, and definitely please check them out on their website. All right. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in again for another fantastic episode of Digital Ramble. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please drop us a comment always at the bottom. And for those that don't know, if you don't know, ask a Home Tech Pro.